believe we're at this point in the year already, but it is almost November, which means it's time for my November budget. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. This is A Life Well Spent. My name is Kelly, and on this channel, I document my financial journey. So we talk things like budget. I will show you what my plan for the month is, and then I'll wrap up that budget at the end of the month. This is one of the former videos. I'm showing you what my budget is going to be for November. We also talk about I've done debt payoff stuff in the past. When I was in debt, I now only have my mortgage as my debt. And at this point, I'm not really in any hurry to pay that off because I have locked in at a fairly low interest rate, and I'm just putting essentially any extra money I have into savings and investing. I haven't talked too much about investing overall, but I would like to get to that soon, probably within the next year, because right now I'm kind of hyper focusing on getting my emergency fund where I would like it to be. So, without further ado, this is my budget for November. Okay, so first off, I do a zero-based budget, so that means that every bit of my money, every dollar has an assignment. It has a job to do, be that savings, be that money that I'm going to spend. That's pretty much it. Spending and saving for me. If I'm paying off debt or whatever, I would put that in there as well. But suffice it to say, everything has an assignment and a job to do, and I do that before I get to the actual month and before I get the money. Although, no, not so much, because this is didn't happen this time. This usually happens. But no, it's October 31st. It's the last day of the month. So I kind of wrap out and close out my budget and get started with the next one. It happens to be on a Thursday. November for me is the 3-pay month, and like Friday, tomorrow, is supposed to be my first pay. However, my bank does like if you get direct deposit, it kind of deposits a day early. So technically that did not apply, but it typically does. So anyway, 3-pay month. I am terrible at estimating exactly how much that third paycheck is going to be, because if I make a contribution to like a 403B or something, or my HSA, no contributions come out of that third pay. So that changes the amount. And it's like, on the one hand, I could say, oh, yep, well, just put that money back in. But the money that I pay to either of those things, or that I put in either of those things, will reduce my taxable um, or my tax liability for the month. So it's not, I can't just make it an even, like, oh, well, all right, $200, put that back in. Well, no, because then it shifts things and I just never really know what it is. So I kind of guesstimate it'll probably be a little bit over that amount, but I'm anticipating $5,700 this month. I get $105 from my mom. That's for a number of different things. We have some shared subscriptions that we both like. We do like a family plan, and she's got part of, like, she's on my cell phone plan, and we each put $50 into a brokerage account for my niece. So $50 of that 105 is for that as well. So total income that I'm anticipating is $5,805 for the month. I kind of wished, like, after I went through and budgeted everything, I was like, actually, this, I feel like, is the perfect amount of money for me to feel comfortable, I should say. I don't necessarily think I don't make enough. I would like to make more. I can make do on this, but it's more stressful and anxiety inducing than would be if this 5,700 was my monthly amount. And a lot of that has to do with just, I have the ability to save more money without feeling like I'm really pinching. Especially when, like, I've got money saved up to an emergency fund, but, like, if something happens and then I need to spend $10,000 of my emergency fund, it would take me almost an entire year to put that back in. And so, and in order to do that, I would really be cutting back lifestyle a lot. Whereas, you know, an income like this would give me a lot more without having to cut too much back on lifestyle, provided I didn't have lifestyle creep. But, um, you know, it would just give me a little bit more peace, I think, and a little bit more comfort to know that, like, okay, actually, this is not a big deal. Like, there's a lot more I can do. Anyway, suffice it to say, moving on. Mortgage 648.67. My Oh, I need to check. I think in November my PMI is supposed to come off, and I think that they made the adjustment for that. Um, so I'll have to see when I'll have to look at my statement in November and see if they pulled the money out or not, and then go from there. So I did have an adjustment in my escrow, but I don't know if that's because I was like way over or if it is because they are expecting the PMI to drop off or not. Like, it was still on when they ran the escrow, and I don't know how they do the calculation. Like, I don't know if they just add in like, oh, we expect X number of months, or we just, they expect 12 months and they just don't necessarily get that granular. I have no idea. Electric, 49.75. Natural gas. I have no natural gas bill this month to pay out. Why do you say? Well, if you've watched my video from my week 4 of October transactions, you will see that I stupidly paid it in October. I got myself a travel rewards card, and I'm trying to spend the amount of money I need to spend to get all the reward points. And I thought, oh, I bet I could do some utilities. Now, I could not do my electric without it incurring an extra fee. I was like, I'm not doing that. But as I was trying to go through the gas stuff, I kept expecting to see a fee and then backing out of it. And I never saw a fee, and I just kept moving forward, and I was like, "Oh, wow. All right, cool. I guess I'll just do this," without realizing that I put the date for October. So I paid it last month. Whoopsie. Sewer $63. That's a flat rate. Water $18.97. I did finally get the bill for that for this month. Sometimes I get it like the first week of November or the first week of the month, and other times I get it earlier and I like have it in time. This time I do. It's definitely $18.97. It's not really a flat rate, but it's a minimum rate, and I rarely go over the minimum rate. So every once in a while I have to add like another dollar in there or something, but I kind of consider it as just a flat rate, and that's what I'm paying every month. Garbage, $42. It's a garbage month. I pay that out quarterly. Internet, $58. That's a flat rate. Cell phone, $85 because, well, my mother and I have been doing some different traveling things, and we've been using the internet a lot. And I was having an issue at my house. Like, my Wi-Fi kept dropping, and I didn't realize it. And so I was like using my phone and using my phone's data at home. So that was really irritating. Groceries, $300. We'll see. I'm gonna try to like really be good about going through some of the things in my freezer and in my cabinets so that I am not buying tons of groceries this month, because I do know like there will be a point where the people that I work with are amazing at having parties for different holidays and whatnot, retirements, etc. And well, we're getting into Thanksgiving, so there will 100% be a Thanksgiving, like a little Thanksgiving dinner. There'll probably be two, actually. There might be one at the high school and one at the elementary. Um, so I am gonna have to make a cheesecake because I cannot not make a cheesecake. I make a very, very good cheesecake, actually. And if I actually attempt to make something else and not a cheesecake, there'll be a mutiny on my hands. So I'm gonna have to at very least buy ingredients for that. I'm not quite sure what kind of cheesecake I'm making yet, but that's probably going to be every bit of like $20, $30 maybe. Who knows? Okay, gas $200, house garden 25. That's just kind of usually like random stuff that I pick up around the house. A lot of times I don't even spend it, but I like to at least budget for it. Restaurant $75. Now this is just going to be restaurants for before I like do some traveling that I'm going to do. So it will be separate. Fitness, $41.85. It's pretty much just paying for the pool I go to every month. So I don't really, well, it's getting to be winter. Maybe I'll do more. Go to, bike and lift and stuff there. But right now I'm kind of going for walks in the evenings because it is an obnoxiously warm October. Like, it was almost 80 degrees today. It's Halloween. It's supposed to be cold. There's no like October is usually one of my favorite months because there's just this amazing like nip in the air. It's crisp. The smells are amazing. The views are amazing. The sky is just like gorgeous blue. Plus it's like a bluer blue. It's a brighter blue. I don't know how to describe it, but if you live in the Northeast, you know what I'm talking about when you're talking fall. And now it's basically extended summer and it's annoying. Personal, $150. I added this in here because usually around Thanksgiving, we get like Black Friday sales and deals and Black Friday, Cyber Monday deals, and I get a planner for the year. I get an Erin Condren planner. I haven't really taken the time to look to see if there's something else. I'm sure there are like other things that are differently priced, maybe better priced, but I'm comfortable with the planner. I like it. I like what I do with it, and I just haven't really had any desire to make any changes. But I will typically order my planner in November when they have their Black Friday sales, and then so that truthfully, I mean, I need it before January starts. So anyway, putting some extra money in there to sort of make sure I plan for that. There's some things that I am going to buy for the cruise I'm taking with my mom this winter, and I want to make sure that I get them, and hopefully getting like different deals and stuff like that on them. So I added more to my miscellaneous. Usually miscellaneous and personal are about $50 each, but I am anticipating spending a little bit more money. So $100 to my niece's brokerage account. That's 50 from me, 50 from my mother. I said that earlier. My brokerage account, $70.83. So if you've seen videos before, you know this. I realized that between my HSA and my contributions to a Roth IRA, that I was making almost $1,000 a month. My original intention, I opened the brokerage account. I didn't really put any money in there. I just kind of made it right when I made my nieces basically. And I thought, okay, so what I want to do with this is like when I get to the end of the month and any money I have left over, like boom, gets dumped into a taxable brokerage. That's what I want to do. Okay. And it was open for like 2 years and I didn't ever have any money at the end of the month because I had all these other like savings goals. And when I realized I was that close, I thought, you know what? I can trim $70.83 off of somewhere, like just a little bit less of something I will spend somewhere and start putting money into that and then make it an even $1,000 to some type of investment for my future. So I just decided to do that this year. I realized probably in like February. So then I went February or March maybe, and then I went and like added the extra payments back in. So I'm pretty excited about that. I don't expect that really to change too much. I right now have a goal of getting my emergency fund to $20,000. It is getting super close. I'm very excited about that. It was a stretch goal for this year, but I might actually make it. So hopefully I will. We'll see. That being said, I know I'm at the point where I've had my car now. Let's see, it's 2024. My car's a 2008. Yes, 2008. I always think it's a 6 or a 7 or an 8. My mom's was a 7, mine is an 8. So at 2008, I will drive it until the wheels fall off. I love this car, and truly, it's a Honda Element. If Honda came out with another Element, I would probably buy one tomorrow. With a car loan, even. That's how much I love them. I would make that poor of a decision so that I could have it. But they don't make them anymore. So I'm hanging on to it for as long as I can possibly hang on to it, and get as much out of it as I possibly can. However, I do know that like there might just be a point where it's just not worth it to fix anymore. And it's not, or I get like in an accident and it just gets totaled. And so I'm going to have no choice but to get another vehicle. So I want to, once I hit that $20,000, instead of shoveling money in my emergency fund, which I've been doing, most of probably the last 6 months, I started out with a goal of like topping off a lot of my sinking funds. Well, all of my sinking funds really. And I did that. And then I started going after the emergency fund. And at this point, most of the sinking funds are topped off, and it's a little bit. It's like a couple $100 maybe have to be topped off, not like the whole thing. So, with that in mind, most of the money I'm going to be able to save every month can just get shoveled to a new car fund, basically. And so once I get that squared away, um, which will probably be in the next probably take me 2 years, I would think. Because I think I could probably do about an average of $1,000 a month into that account. Um, so that 2 years puts me at $24,000. And that's right about the sweet spot for me. I don't really want to necessarily do a lot more than that in a car. But even if I had to and I had to pull like $5,000 from my emergency fund or something, like I could probably make something like that work, and then go from there. But I'd like to have at least about $25,000 saved up. And I think that it would take me about 2 years to do that. Now, um, I think that that's possible. If it takes me a little bit longer, it takes me a little bit longer. No big deal there. If I get better raises than I'm anticipating, I would get there faster. So we'll see. Uh, here's hoping. So I've been like toasting. This is my water. Great. So we'll see there as far as options for that go. And then once I have enough for my car, I mean, if I can drive my car another 10 years, hallelujah, I would love that. I don't think it's gonna happen. But yeah, so once I hit the car fund, or once I get enough money in the car fund and I max it to what I want it to be, then I'll start shoveling extra money at the end of the month into a brokerage account. So just want to give myself at this point like more choices and more options. So anyway, all that to say that kind of was going to sit empty for a while, and then I decided, like, you know what? No, I love that the evenness of the let's do $1,000 a month and then go from there. It's actually less going to be less next month, but not a ton. I think HSA contributions go up to wow. Sorry if you could pop up and see that. That was my okay, weird. My NordPass popped up. Must be log back in, I guess. All right. Not expecting to pay for anything for my mother or any of her work expenses or anything like that. Or any of my work expenses. I'm not expecting any work expenses. I'm not anticipating going anywhere that would require like reimbursement or anything. All right. $1,200, $39.10 to my emergency fund. Hopefully, we will see. I actually really, really struggled with this budget, because I know that like with my upcoming trip, I kind of wanted to put more money in. Everything is booked right now except excursions that we're going to take on the cruise. And I don't know that we're going to do a ton of excursions. I don't think it's going to be too terribly expensive, but like our hotels and flights and all of that kind of stuff is done. So the rest of it really is just going to be like spending money while we're there. We're gonna have to eat. We are gonna have to go shopping and get some stuff. We're not gonna fly down with like shampoo and whatnot. We're gonna get it when we get down there just to make sure we don't have to pay for heavy luggage. Fun times. So anyway, so I've really struggled with like, how much more to put in my travel fund so that like I have it set aside to be able to spend there. And it just, it was a little nuts. And then I was kind of debating on whether or not I wanted to like use some of the extra money to top out, or top off all of my other funds that I had been spending throughout the year and just hadn't put the money back yet. So anyway, $155 to subscriptions. I'm pretty excited because that's actually going to I might actually be able to get away with not putting anything in there most of next year because I have cut back so many of my subscription services. So yeah, that will be pretty exciting. I've already cut back a lot this year. I've cut back more since my last video, even I just did some a couple days ago. But I really wasn't sure how much I was going to need. Um and I just figured I would wait until December and when I was taking a look at like my total year ahead, and then kind of go from there and adjust the amount from there. So that worst case scenario, I have like $500 more in there that I need and I just move it someplace else. So we will see. All right, Nittany Lion Club, that's $17. I pay that once a year. I pay it out in January. It's just my membership to the thing. Um, Giving fund 287.17. That will top off that giving fund for the year. Uh, I mean, sort of. It's Christmas time, so I'll probably donate some money, but you know. Car insurance, $59. I pay that. I will pay that out again in February, so pretty much just putting the money back in. Car repair is $460. I'm putting that in there to kind of top that one out. However, I'm gonna need to put more money back into it in December, because come December, I have to get my car inspected and renew the registration and whatnot, so that'll be a couple $100. $137.50 into the gift fund. I definitely wanted to make sure that that money was actually topped off, and there's an extra 100 in there because I do know that 500 is what I put in the gift fund. So this is no 600 is what I do in the gift fund. So and this will give me um like 650 or something like that. So I wanted to put some more money in there because I yeah, it's time for holiday gift spending. This is kind of the bulk of what my gift fund is spent on Christmas, my niece's birthday, my mother's birthday. Um, and then basically flowers for when people I know have lost loved ones. That's pretty much the only thing I'm spending it on. All right. Oh, that's not true. Last year, my friend's daughter graduated from high school, so there was that too. Garden, I put $50 in there. It's kind of now to the point where I need to start doing some money into the garden fund every month because then I'll have enough come spring to get the stuff that I need for my yard. Travel, $509.91. This was where I was kind of really struggling with it was just random amounts of money, I know. This is kind of where I was really struggling with figuring out how much I wanted to put in there to make sure that I had enough for my trip. And $312.25 to my clothing. So to top off my clothing and add a little bit more because I do know that I'm gonna actually have to buy some clothes for my trip, number one. And I need new shoes. I will get shoes if I find a comfortable pair of shoes. I will buy them in like brown, I'll buy them in black, and I'll wear those shoes until they collapse. So I probably wear them for like 2 or 3 years, but then they get to the point where like I can tell like that they shouldn't be worn anymore. They're not comfortable and they're not like safe probably. Um so I'm at that stage. I need to replace them. And yeah, I'm working on it sooner rather than later. We're going to go outlet shopping in November. So I put some money in there so I can replace my shoes. Plus, get the few things that I want to take with me on the trip. So that's where we're at. That is a lot of money into savings. I know, but pretty okay with it. I'm glad to be able to save it than have to spend it, right? Like one of the best things I ever did for myself was to get myself debt free. I mean, well, except for my mortgage, but uh it's so nice to know that I am able to control all of my money, right? I decide where my money goes and where it gets spent. I don't have to sit here and go, well, okay, well, I'm bringing in $5,700, but 2,000 of that has to go pay for other stuff already. I don't even get to decide where I spend that money. I have to pay that back to people or banks, really. So, really want to, like I said, one of the best things I ever did for myself. Totally best move ever. Um, and then getting into investing. So it's exciting. I'm excited. I'm excited for what the future is going to hold for me. I am excited that this path was open to me, and I hope that those of you watching are a little inspired. I hope that anybody who is watching is, kind of taking some notes and picking. Listen, personal finance is personal, and what works for me is not necessarily going to work for you. And it's important that you understand that you take kind of, I'm certainly not a personal finance expert in any way, shape, or form. And certainly don't have any licenses to be giving people advice. But, my hope is that you would watch a video like this and, take some kernels, take some nuggets, some ideas, and, apply what you can apply to your life, what will fit to your life, right? Um, I know, like I said, that making the decision to be consumer debt free. And if you look at some of my older videos, like I had two jobs. I would come home from work and I worked part time as a social studies teacher in an online school. And I would, days when, or, some weeks were really, really busy and I was doing, working full time and coming home and working 35, 40 hours while I was also going to school and working towards my admin certification. And it was a lot. It was a lot at once and it was miserable. But at the same time, I was like, oh my God, there's 800 more dollars I can put on this credit card or this whatever bill. And then, I was also very fortunate to get loan forgiveness because I work in public service. So don't mistake that one. That definitely helped. That was the last step in my debt journey, my debt payoff journey. But having had all of that burden then lifted from me, either because I earned it through public service loan forgiveness or earned it through working my tail off with extra jobs and whatnot and putting as much money as I could possibly put towards bills, like really, really, n- you know, um, clamping down on my life and taking care of that. Like now I don't have to worry. I don't have to worry about any of that stuff. And it's great and it's amazing. And I absolutely recommend that you take steps to also become debt free if you have not. But anyway, off the soapbox, this video has gone on long enough. Thanks so much for watching. If you are still here, we'll talk to you later. Bye. Okay, so first off,